A very good day, children. Welcome back to your social science class of 6th standard. We were so far discussing about Mysore division in our state, Karnataka. In the previous session, we have studied about 6 districts of Mysore division. Namely, we have studied about Mysuru, Chamrajanagara, Hassan, Chikmagaluru, Mandya and Kodagu. We have learnt about various personalities, important tourist places, their industries, agriculture and important aspects or uniqueness of these districts. So, only 2 districts are left out under the Mysore division that you will be learning in today's session. About 2 other districts of Mysore division, that is Dakshina Kannada and Udupi. First, coming to Dakshina Kannada. Children, the district of Dakshina Kannada comprises of 5 talukas. Those 5 talukas are Mangaluru, Beltangadi, Bantwala, Putturu and Sulya. So, these 5 talukas comprise the district of Dakshina Kannada. This is a famous coastal district. It has a popular port. This aids in the export and import of business. So as you can see in the map over here of Karnataka, children, Dakshina Kannada is a coastal district. Coastal district ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು coastal district ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It has a popular port. It has a seaport. Port is a place near the sea where goods are exchanged through ships, boats or any other water mode of transport. This aids, this port that is there in Mangalore, the Mangalore port, aids means it helps. It helps in import and export. Export means selling things to other countries is called export, and import means buying things from other countries is called as import. So this exchange of buying things and selling things from other countries takes place through this port of Mangalore, because of which Mangalore is considered to be a business hub, especially through water means or waterways, because it is situated in the coastal area of the Arabian Sea. Now we shall see what are the important occupations of the people over here. Since basically it's a coastal area and it is very close to the Arabian Sea, the main occupation of the people here is fishing. Majority of the people of the coastal areas, they depend upon fishing for their livelihood. So apart from their occupation of fishing, the people are also employed in rolling BDs, because areca nut is widely grown over here, and so BD industries are very popular in Mangalore district. Apart from that, they also process cashew nuts, Godambe. So fishing, processing cashew nuts and rolling of BDs. Apart from agriculture, in agriculture they particularly grow paddy, areca nut and coconut. So this is the important occupation of the people of Dakshina Kannada. The coastal area was once a part of Madras state, but Britishers divided Kannada into Dakshina Kannada and Uttara Kannada districts in 1860. Children, before India became independent, when Karnataka was under the part of the British Empire, Uttara Kannada and Dakshina Kannada were together known as Kannada. And it was in the year 1860 that Kannada came to be divided as Uttara Kannada and Dakshina Kannada. This Dakshina Kannada region that you can find over here was a part of the Madras region. In those days, we did not have states like what we have today. There were presidencies like the Madras presidency that you can see here in the yellow color. Then we had the Bombay presidency. Then we had on the state of Andhra. We had Coorg presidency. Then we had Mysore region, Travancore region. So Dakshina Kannada was a part of this Madras presidency, whereas Uttara Kannada became a part of Bombay presidency. It was only in the year 1956 when all the states were reorganized. Means all the states were reorganized on the basis of the language that were spoken. Thus, both Uttara Kannada became a part of Karnataka. So also Dakshina Kannada became a part of Karnataka. Earlier they were part of, Dakshina Kannada was a part of Madras and Uttara Kannada was a part of Bombay. But in the year 1956, after the states were reorganized in India, both Uttara Kannada and Dakshina Kannada, they became a part of Mysore, which was later on renamed as Karnataka. So, what you need to remember is, earlier Dakshina Kannada was known as Kannada. It was in the year 1956 that it became a part of Karnataka. Dakshina Kannada is divided into two geographical areas. The coastal belt, which includes Mangaluru and Bantwal taluks. The hilly areas that include Putturu, Beltangadi and Sulya taluks. This is a major commercial center. So children, Dakshina Kannada is divided into two geographical areas. And one side is the coastal area. And in this coastal area that you find in the map over here comes the talukas of Mangaluru and Bantwal. This Mangaluru and Bantwal lie in the coastal areas. Means they are very near to the seashore, the Arabian seashore. And the remaining talukas of Beltangadi, Putturu and Sulya, they come under the hilly areas. So in entire Mangalore district is divided into two parts. One is the coastal area, which includes the talukas of Mangaluru and Bantwala, and the next one is the hilly areas that includes the talukas of Beltangadi, Putturu and Sulya. Dakshina Kannada is a major commercial center. Commercial center means it's a major business center, mainly because it is a famous seaport which helps in business, and that is the reason why it has become a major business center in Karnataka. The Panambur port is known for export business. Navamangalore port is built here. There is an international airport in Vajpayee of Mangalore. So children, as you have already learned, Mangalore is a coastal area, and because of it being a coastal area, there are a large number of ports over there. The important ports of Mangalore are the Panambur port and the Navamangalore port. Apart from that, there is also an international airport. Here you can see. And this international airport is in a place called as Vajpayee, and it is very convenient mode of air transport for people living nearby to Dakshina Kannada district. Netravati, Payaswini and Kumaradhara are the major rivers of this district. So, this district has three important rivers. They are Netravati, Payaswini and Kumaradhara. The district has many religious centers. A monolithic Gomateshwara statue is in Venuru. Sri Manjunatha temple is there. Mudabidri is a famous Jain religious center. There are many basatis also. Dharmasthala is a popular religious place. Dakshina Kannada is very popular for its religious centers and holy places. The most popular being Dharmasthala. Dharmasthala is famous for the temple of Sri Lord Manjunatha. So as you can see in the image over here is the famous pilgrim center of Lord Manjunatha at Dharmasthala. Another popular place is Mudabidri. In Mudabidri, as you can see here, there is a 1,000-pillared Jaina Basati. It is called as Savira Kambagala Basati. So Dharmasthala and Mudabidri are both famous pilgrim and religious centers. Apart from that, you also have a Gomateshwara statue at a place called as Venuru. The Durga Parameshwari temple of Katil is very popular. The Gokarnatheshwara temple of Kudroli is another known religious center. So apart from Dharmasthala and Mudabidri, another two important religious places of Dakshina Kannada are Katil and Kudroli. Katil is famous for its Durga Parameshwari temple, whereas Kudrole is famous for the Gokarnateshwara temple. So in the image that you can see here, children, this beautifully illuminated temple is the Gokarnateshwara temple, and it is situated at a place called as Kudrole. And this image that you can see is the image of Sri Durga Parmeshwari temple, and it is situated at a place known as Katil. Apart from this, St. Aloysius Church and Milagros Church are well known. The Juma Masjid of Ullal is a place of reverence for Muslims. So apart from the beautiful temples that you have learnt so far, Dakshina Kannada is also famous for churches and mosques. Among the churches, the most popular are St. Aloysius Church and the Milagros Church. In the image that you can see here is the image of St. Aloysius Chapel. It's a very famous chapel or church in Mangaluru. The next one is the Juma Masjid. It is in Ullad. So these both are famous pilgrim centers. The Nisargadama of Pilikula is established in more than 350 areas of land. In Mangalore, you find a lake called as Pilikula Lake, and on the banks of this Pilikula Lake is a famous park and a garden known as Nisarga Dhama. Dr. Shivram Karan's Biopark is housed here. Here you have a biodiversity park. It's a biological park, and it is named after Kannada's famous poet Dr. Shivram Karan. A folklore museum, science center and architecture center are also here and are attracting children and elders alike. So here you find a museum dedicated to folklore or Janapada Kale. Then you have a famous science center and also an architecture center. This park or garden has a play area which attracts a large number of children as well as elders. So Nisargadama is a very beautiful garden and a park over in Mangalore. This district is known for Nagaradhane, that is a worship of snakes, Kambala, Bhutakola and various other rituals. Like different districts have got certain special festivals or rituals associated with it. For example, in your previous session you have learned Huttari is a festival which is associated with Kodugu. Similarly, Dakshina Kannada also has special unique festivals. Important among them are Nagaradhane. Nagaradhane means worship of snakes. During this festival, along with Bhutaradhane, they also worship snakes. Here you can see in the picture, a person wears a traditional attire and worships snakes. Then you have Kambala. Kambala is a very famous sport. You children might have seen it in news channels and TV programs. Kambala in northern Karnataka, we call it as Karaga festival. Kambala means it is nothing but a festival wherein a farmer or a person who is usually associated with farming runs along with his bullocks in a race, and the winner is declared a prize. Kambala is a very famous festival that is held in Dakshina Kannada, which attracts lots number of people. In other words, we can say that Kambala is nothing but a buffalo race kind of sport in Tulu Nadu region. Then another important festival associated with Dakshina Kannada is the Bhuta Kola. Apart from that, even festivals like Yakshagana and others are also celebrated in Dakshina Kannada. This district is also an important educational center. The district of Dakshina Kannada is famous all over Karnataka as a famous educational hub. Mangaluru, Surathkal and Sulya have become important educational centers of the district. Mangaluru is famous for its Mangalore University, St. Aloysius College and many other famous educational institutions are there in Mangalore. In Surathkal, we have the famous NIT, that is National Institute of Technology. So Mangaluru and Surathkal are famous important educational centers. Apart from that, there are a number of research centers also, like Department of Fisheries has a research center in Mangaluru. Apart from that, there are many beautiful beaches also in this district which attracts number of tourists. So children, we shall now learn about the last district of your Mysore division, that is Udupi. The district of Udupi comprises of 3 talukas. It comprises of the talukas of Kundapura, Udupi and Karkala. Udupi district was formed in 1997 by dividing Dakshina Kannada district. Before 1997, Udupi was a part of Dakshina Kannada itself. But in the year 1997, the district of Udupi was separately formed. The Arabian Sea is to the west and Eastern Ghats is to the east of the district. Children, here in the map of Udupi, you can see it is surrounded by the Arabian Sea on the western sides, and on the eastern sides of Udupi we have the Eastern Ghats. So, Udupi is basically a coastal place. ಸಮುದ್ರ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಸ್ಥಳ. It is a coastal area. Udupi has areca nut and coconut groves with paddy fields. So what is the main cultivation crop over here? The main cultivation crop is areca nut. Areca nut andre adike mara. And they even grow coconut and paddy. Paddy batta or rice. So areca nut, coconut grove and paddy are the main important agricultural crops of the people of Udupi district. The temple of Krishna is here. It is said that the idol of Sri Krishna was installed by Dvaita philosopher Madhvacharya. Udupi is famous for the temple of Sri Krishna. It is a very famous Hindu pilgrim center. The idol or the statue of Lord Krishna in this temple was said to be installed by the famous philosopher Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, they were all famous religious and social reformers of India in the medieval period. It was Madhvacharya who installed the Krishna's statue at the temple of Sri Krishna in Udupi. It is also said that Lord Krishna turned on his own from east to west direction to provide a view to Kanakadasa. So children, as you can see, Kanakadasa over in the picture here. Kanakadasa was a very famous 15th century musician, poet, philosopher and religious reformer. He is known for his kirtanas and bhajans. Kanakadasa has a very special association with Udupi. Kanakadasa was a disciple or a student of Vyasatirtha Swamiji of Udupi. So on the request of Vyasatirtha Swamiji, Kanakadasa goes to Udupi. But since he belonged to a lower caste, he was not allowed to enter the temple. For months together, he stayed in a small hut next to the temple and he would sing bhajans and kirtans in praise of Lord Krishna. And then one day, all of a sudden at night, there was a crack in the wall of the temple and the statue of Lord Krishna, which was facing eastward, because in all the temples, all the deities images are always turned towards the east direction. But all of a sudden, it is believed that the idol of Lord Krishna turned from east to west to give a darshana to Kanakadasa, and the spot where the view was given is called as Kanakana Kindi or the window of Kanaka. And even today, this Kanakana Kindi is left like that itself as a tribute to Kanakadasa's devotion to Lord Krishna, and it's a very famous pilgrim center for the people. The temple Mukambika is on the Kodachadri hills. The 42 feet idol of Gomateshwara of Karkala is also popular. So apart from the famous Krishna Mata and the Krishna temple in Udupi, Another important famous place of pilgrimage is the Mukambika temple. The Mukambika temple is in a place called as Kolluru. It's situated on the Kodachadri hills. Apart from that, another important place of pilgrim is the Gomateshwara statue. Children, don't confuse this statue with the Bahubali statue or the Gomateshwara statue at Shravana Belagola. That statue, what was there? It was the tallest statue. But this statue is only 42 feet and it is also a famous pilgrim center for the Jains. The Rashtrakavi Govinda Pai Research Center is in Udupi. In Udupi, you have a research center by the name of the Rashtrakavi Govinda Pai Research Center. The important places in Udupi are Malpe, which is famous for Malpe Beach, Manipal, which is a famous educational center. Then you have places like Kundapura, Mandarti, Kota, Kapu, Barkur, Maravante. They are some of the important places. Here in the image you can see, children, is the image of Maravante beach. The Maravante beach is one of the most famous beaches of Mangalore. And Manipal is another important city of Udupi. Manipal is famous for its educational institutions. It's a major educational hub in the district of Udupi. Barkur was once a famous port city. Business was carried out here by Dutch and Portuguese. So there was a famous port by the name of Barkur in Udupi district, and this was a major business place where even business was done by the Dutch and the Portuguese also. Paddy, coconut, areca nut and cashew nut are the major crops of this district. The major crops that are grown over here are paddy, coconut, areca nut, as I told you, is adike, and cashew nut. Malpe is an all-season fishing port. Malpe, which is also famous for its beach, is also famous for its fishing port. And it's an all-season fishing port. Means here fishing takes place across the year. All the months of the year fishing takes place. And that is the reason why Malpe is known as an all-season fishing boat. Another important tourist attraction place in Udupi is the St. Mary's Island, as you can see here in the image. So children, with this we end about the district of Udupi, and this also ends about all the districts of Mysore division. So children, so far you have learned about the districts of Udupi, Dakshina Kannada, Chikmagaluru, Hassan, Kodagu, Mysore, Mandya and Chamarajanagar, which all form the Mysore division. So with this we end the entire chapter. Hope you have understood the lesson. In case if there are any doubts, we can get it clarified when the school reopens. Till then, have a nice day. Stay home and stay safe.